In a lot of ways, Scoop created the environmental movement. It is hard to imagine the country without NEPA, the National Environmental Policy Act. Now, you know, NEPA gets criticized by a lot of people, but NEPA was, I believe, the single most important accomplishment in the environmental field, certainly of his day. You can say maybe the Clean Air Act now is as important, maybe more important in another way. But when you think of the world before NEPA, big projects, all big projects were just not analyzed. People would go off and build and make decisions without respect to the environment, without respect to really planning, because NEPA required not only planning for the environment, but really thinking through what you ought to do with any project. You know, what are the economics? How does it blend in with society? All of those kinds of things that that smart people ought to be doing anyway, but it was required by NEPA. I don't think other countries even have that process. It's burdensome sometimes, it's expensive, but when I think of the disasters that were avoided by that, I remember in my own state of Louisiana, there was a highway called the Dixie Freeway that was going to skirt the French Quarter in New Orleans along the river, which would have been an environmental disaster. And it was only because of NEPA they were able to avoid that. And I might add, we were able to get the federal money and put it where it ought to be on a project I was interested in. But it was just one example of environmental disasters that were avoided by this bill, which requires this discipline on every major federal project in the country.